Alrighty then, welcome back to Kavran
Indeed,
D&D.
days and them's.
Oh, hello to you. Alright, a brief recap of things. You guys are in the mountains looking for the laboratory of Bella Oloon, but you're also trying to track down your missing guide, Striggum, who, having had a little taste for adventure with you before, had decided to branch out on his own. Last time, as you were exploring and looking for him, you encountered two traders, Seraphim and Persephone, on their way to Inagroth. The traders were taking a different route to normal due to the trouble caused by some giants on the North Road. You decided to track down the giants, only to discover that they were hill giants, intent on nothing more than an easy meal for travellers. Stix valiantly tried to persuade the giants to move on and leave the people in peace, but with limited success. However, he did learn from them the direction of some other giants. Moving deeper into the mountains for another day, the party followed the sound of creatures clashing and discovered a group of dwarves fighting a pit fiend along with a familiar gnome. The dwarves were no match for the pit fiend, who tore through them, and the party jumped into action to save the gnome companion before the pit fiend could turn on them. And so we pick things up with the top of the initiative round, which brings us to Arwen.
Oh no. I forgot I was going first.
Yes.
I was going first?
Yes, you were. To remind you of the scene, you guys are on this mountain trail that you've been following. It kind of, as it's sort of rising up the mountain, the lower slopes, it kind of switch back, winds back and forth as it rises, giving you lots of little holes and things to hide behind as you make your way up. When you had your Wrath of Nature on the go, I believe, this giant orange square.
Yeah. Right, at the start of each of your turns, each of your enemies within 10 feet of any trees in the cube must succeed on a dex save. Dex save for the big man, please.
Dexterity save for the big man. It is a 16.
Haha, you fail.
You fail!
4d6. That is 12 slashing damage.
Need to remind myself of how good it is.
Apologies, this is a spell, so they have an advantage on the saving throw. That is a 16 on both times, though, so 12 slashing damage.
I will then shoot it with my bow.
Okay.
27.
Yeah. 27.
That number.
19. 25.
Do it again. Ooh, nice. Is it? It's not a bonus action for me to do it the second time, is it?
No. 25. 37.
Lovely. And then for my bonus action, I will make a ranged spell attack on the ugly thing. That's 22 to hit him.
Hits.
3d8. That's 9 bludgeoning damage, non-magical. Can you make a strength save, please?
Yeah, this is still This is your Wrath of Nature again, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a 17.
He falls prone.
Lol.
Okay. What's close to him?
Some rocks.
Okay, yeah, so, like, is this what, roots and vines kind of pick them up and launch them at him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
at the end of each of your turns, one creature of your choice that is on the ground in the cube, do another strength save, please.
That is a 15.
You are restrained.
Okay.
You're prone and restrained.
It's a bad time for this pit fiend. What's the conditions for getting out of the restrained?
A restrained creature can use an action to make a strength athletics check against your spell save DC, ending the effect on itself on a success.
I'm sorry, this spell is so good.
I know. You have to be in the right conditions. There has to be trees and vines and rocks. And JJ said there was all of the above last time, so.
That he did.
Or roots, not vines. Vines are all roots, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So it's no good in a mountain. Like a mountain. A proper mountain.
Okay. Alright. Will someone roll me a d6, please?
Uh-oh.
4.
Oh.
Hellfire spellcasting does recharge.
Wait, is it the beginning of his turn?
It is the beginning of his turn.
He needs to take 1d4 damage at the beginning of each of his turns. Or make a medicine check.
No.
That's from last time.
Okay.
I'd written it on the thing.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll the 1d4 or do you want to do it?
That's alright. I'm just reading a spell. What's the right?
No, go for it.
Okay. So, you watch as the pit fiend, kind of restrained on the ground, like pulls one arm somewhat free of this restraint and swirls his big mace through the air, and the fire atop it seems to conjure larger and larger, as you saw before. And he points it down at Arwen and throws a fireball at you. So, can you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Mm-hmm. 17.
That is a fail.
I get resistance to fire damage though.
Okay, so you take 40 fire damage.
Halved? Or
Halved
is that
20?
Okay.
And then as he swirls, he kind of takes some of that remnant magic and swirls it around himself. And he casts Wall of Fire.
You
in
can't
this-
cast 2 spells on one go.
But they can, because they can cast 2 fireballs, or they can replace 1 fireball. This is a single action for them to do these 2 things, according to the stat block. And this is one of the stat blocks from the new monster manual. So, and what they do is they do it in a circle, and they place that circle around themselves. So, is it a saving? I think it's a saving throw. When the wall appears. So, dexterity saving throw, please, from Klari and Stix.
Mm-hmm. We both have resistance to this damage. Because it's a spell. Dexterity saving throw. Dex save. 24! And 29!
So, no damage for Klari due to evasion, but 6 damage to you, Stix.
6 damage.
6, yeah.
Oh no!
That is already half for save and half for your resistance.
Oh
But there
no!
is now an
6
opaque
damage.
wall of fire in front of you with burning heat facing out towards you.
Oh no! That's a real shame. Bring it. It's Brittany, bitch.
That is their turn. Which brings us to Klari.
He is still restrained on and prone, right?
And prone. Yep.
He is, but you can no longer see him because of the opaque wall, basically.
Ah.
So he's surrounded himself in this wall of fire, heat blasting out towards you.
I mean, I guess you can't move into the space.
I don't know what to think.
Well, not being able to see him has disadvantage, but you have advantage, so it just becomes a normal roll.
Yeah, because like we've seen
Oh.
where he is in the things.
And he's
Oh,
fucking
okay, so
massive.
he'll try.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
can still try and.
Alright, yeah, okay.
A 29.
Yeah, 32 will hit.
Damn shit. Was more than 18 and a 16.
Very nice.
Do it? Yeah, no, I would, because you're still. Yeah. I might as well try it off.
And a 30. Yeah.
What are these rolls?
You're trying to, you're stabbing through and this wall of fire is burning and hot, but you feel your blades connect on the other side.
Damn.
Very nice.
44. 58 damage in one turn.
Is it opaque for him as well? No, he can see through it. I remember now.
Oh. I've got my thingy, don't I? Hey, that's everything from me.
Okay. At the end of your turn, you automatically take fire damage from being stood in the damaging radius of the wall. So you take 31 fire damage.
I should have said.
Halved.
Oh no!
Halved.
Why is it half?
Because of me.
Oh, thank you.
I'm resistant
So,
to spell damage,
15.
and so are you. Yeah, 15,
Yeah,
I guess.
You don't do it one. Thank you. I didn't think that through.
That's fine.
I should have said something.
It is your turn.
Stix, it's your turn. Right. Stix is going to poke a hand through the fire with a spear in it. And see if he can't poke something inside. So he's going to just give it a poke. To disadvantage, but it's 20. Unnatural.
20 does not hit.
Son of a bitch! Then he goes again. Son of a fuck's sake, man. Missing both times. Oh, I had an idea of something I could have done, but I don't think it would have mattered much. Missing both times, Stix is going to back now. Oh no, he can see through it. Fuck. Yeah.
Wait, 20's a miss? Damn.
I've got lots of HP. I'll tank it. Yeah, I'll tank the damage. It's fine. I'll remain where I am and do nothing.
Okay, you take 11 fire damage.
Is that already halved?
That is already halved.
Gonna say.
Alright. Hugo.
Hugo. He's not gonna get close because that would be silly. So 5, 10, 10. Okay, he can get the ugly thing with his acid breath. Dexterity. Oh, he can't. He has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Please do a dexterity saving throw.
13.
You fail. Take 8 acid damage.
Okay, this line of acid briefly cuts through and distorts the wall of fire, and you can see this picking on the ground is trying to rip these vines off for a brief moment, and before the fire rises again and covers everything.
And then he will help Klari. Stix. Clary's doing pretty good.
Okay. Stix to your advantage on your next attack roll.
Yay!
Arwen, what would you like to
Oh
do?
god, it's me.
It is you.
Okay. All the usual bits and bobs, so...
Do you have to be able to see the creature?
Nope. It just says at the start of your turn, each of your enemies within 10 feet of any trees in the cube must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
I just have to see the cube, and I can see the cube.
The Cube. What a TV show.
That was great. Yeah. Dexterity saving throw, please.
27.
27 with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Ew.
He has
You
advantage on saves against spells, so it's just a straight roll.
are
And I rolled a 19.
scamming me. Okay, spell attack. 20 is not gonna hit.
Misses.
Fuck. I'll shoot him with disadvantage. No, with normal. No. 26.
It's technically disadvantage for you because you have disadvantage against a prone target with a ranged attack.
Fuck. Okay, well that's one roll.
But then he's also restrained, so would that cancel out?
I suppose, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, either way, that would be one hit and one miss.
Cool.
If we take the first two rolls or if we take the collective.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Colossus Slayer it. Beautiful and lovely. And then the end is... Can he do another strength saving throw, please?
No.
What do you mean, no?
So when you fire your 2 arrows into the base of this firewall, the first one kind of flies in and just seems to burn up. The second one flies in, and the noises that you can hear, the movement, Stix and Klari, you can hear suddenly falters, and there's just a collapsing. The wall of fire is kind of pulled into itself, into the center. It burns brighter and brighter, but not hotter, and then all of a sudden dissipates, almost like a collapsing star. And all that is left is a pile of ashes.
Nice! Fuck you, big dude.
Cool.
I was like, you can't see me. Fuck off. Occupado. Oh.
So this trolly giant thing, what is it?
The hill giant.
Oh, it's a hill giant. Is that the same as what we saw earlier?
That's the same as what you saw earlier.
I don't know if he's a goodie or a baddie. I don't want to assume he's a baddie, but
I don't want to assume he's a baddie, but so far, you know,
they've all been baddies.
They've all been baddies, or at least they've all been, you know, people eating.
Yeah. Well, as the silence, a few moments of silence, stretch on and on with the defeat of the pit fiend, you just hear a little voice kind of goes, "Well, you all turned up at a great moment."
I specifically told you to stay there, and we would come find you.
Yeah, but
how many times do I need to tell people to stay put? And when they don't stay put, they end up in a bad situation.
I haven't moved because I'm still stood in my boots.
Don't.
Did you sleep with your shoes on the whole time?
Sprigham, you were once a nice breath of fresh air from a bunch of idiots. Now you are enraging me. Muchly, sir. That's not how being in place works. You're meant to be a professor, my God, you should know that's not how.
Well, he's not.
moving
He
works.
handed in his resignation.
That's a good point.
All right. And technicalities aside, I know. I just got a taste for it. It was exciting, and I just thought
It was exciting the last time we went out and just looked for the place and didn't encounter any monsters.
Well, he got a bit lost.
There was magic, and there was that ship thing, and you were all fighting each other, and
Oh, yeah, that was a good point. Forgot about the ship thing.
I forgot about the fighting each other.
Yeah. Well, you went crazy for a minute for some gold.
Don't call me crazy.
I said for a minute.
Sure.
Right. So, please at least tell me, in your absence, you found something of use for this place? I'm assuming that's what you're here for, by the way. I'm assuming you're here to, find...
yeah. We were looking, trying to. Well, I didn't know when you'd be back, and I thought, well, it could be, weeks or months. I didn't want to sit around twiddling my thumbs. So I thought, well, I could head out, hire a few people, go on a bit of an expedition, and maybe kind of tick off a bit of the search. And
that's fair.
He reaches into a pocket and pulls out a little journal, opens it up, and unfolds one of the pages. And you can see that there is a crudely drawn, oh God, map of some kind.
That looks like lots of what are they called?
Centipedes.
That's the one. Is that a wolf or a bear?
Sorry, yes, that is a wolf. So let me tell you. So
that's just where a wolf is. I'm a laugh.
Yes, it is. So we travelled from Garnhamheim towards Maltorumheim, and then followed this mountain, and he points, and so this would be Maltorumheim Maltorumheim would be in this direction. And he says, and we followed this mountain, and he goes all the way up here towards Innergruff, and then we travelled sort of southwest from there, from the city, as it were, and this was still on go back. However, that's when we encountered the wolves, big fuckers, and we lost 4 of the goats before we managed to escape, probably only because they were busy eating the goats. And so we decided to head up the mountain and cross the ridge down the other side. So we came over this mountain and down here. And then a day after we crossed the mountain, we lost Ingvi and the last 2 goats. We woke up and she was just gone. There was no sign other than what looked to be some giant footprints. No sign of her or the goats. Don't know what happened. Don't know whether she fled with the goats, thought fuck us all and just take these and run, or whether something happened and she got. But we searched and we couldn't find any sign of her.
You saw giant footprints.
Yeah, we saw some giant footprints, but
were they there before you got there?
Not that we saw, but yeah. So we don't know whether she whether she just left or whether they got, and and so then we sort of headed down into this valley and continued heading sort of southish, where things get a bit more twisty turny over here. But which is where we find ourselves now, and I'm still alive thanks to you, lovely people.
Fun. Right.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, aside from the
Death.
death, yeah. Aside from that, yeah, it's been a right enough. Dwarves were. They were good folks.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, then we ran into that fucking thing. Don't know where that came from. Some kind
Yeah,
of
how did
devil
that
or
start?
demon or what? Well, we were heading down the mountainside, and there was. Do you remember that sort of avalanche from yesterday that went on? Well, there was this big like explosion at the top of the mountain, big ball of fire, and we saw this thing just appear there. Whole mountain started coming down. We ran for it and everything. Yeah, and yeah, there was had some like little little ones, like little mini ones of it that kind of came. We managed to fight a couple of them off. But
Oh,
yeah,
no.
this thing just. I mean, you saw it. It ripped Thor right in half.
Did you get all of the mini ones?
I think so. They kind of like there was I don't know, like half dozen of them, dozen of them. Most of them kind of sort of scattered, and we managed to pick off a few of them that kind of chased us with this thing. But yeah,
How
then
many
like
do you
this one,
think
they
are left?
not a clue, not a clue, honestly.
Okay.
Just kind of started running. But yeah, my little legs don't get me very far.
Mhm.
And yeah, kind of like this one, they kind of when they died, they kind of just sort of popped and turned all ashy.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you have any leads on where to go now?
Well, he kind of points to the map. We kind of covered this whole sort of northern ridge, where the count the wolves and things like that, and we kind of came up from on this western side. My guess would be, and he kind of points to all the little blue X's. These are some of the villages that we encountered that we know of. There's not much to like real deep in there that we're aware of. Kind of asked around for where sort of settlements were. Thought maybe we'd try triangulating some stuff based on where stuff isn't. But yeah, this big bit in the middle is kind of unknown. The mountains are they're really steep there, so it makes kind of getting between them more tricky. You have to. There aren't as many like pathways like down here, and kind of points to sort of here and here on the map. You've got a bit more sort of these open valleys and things where you can walk through a bit more easily. They've got sort of hills and stuff in them. But yeah, it's I guess it's somewhere in there. Where
Cool. That's good to.
We got to narrow down. I guess that's helpful. Thank you. Based on obviously our checks we've been doing over the last couple of days, we haven't been to the bit either, right?
Yeah, so you guys, if I remember rightly, you guys headed in roughly sort of this vicinity and have been kind of going through like this section.
Okay.
Sort of along here and have kind of come around this. Oh, let me draw it. So you guys have kind of come around sort of this way with your pathing. Because you windwalked to approximately this sort of area.
Which was the starting point? Sorry.
So you've gone this way.
Okay, thank you.
To around here. And his path that he pointed out, they came down here, followed the mountains up to here, and then crossed over the mountains, and you guys have kind of overlapped.
Sorry.
Okay.
I
guess we'll start moving towards there then.
Yeah. Down and to the left.
Yeah. Down to the left.
Yeah.
If that's where he was saying, yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of points the map and goes, yeah, I think if we head in sort of like a southwesterly direction, kind of
Yeah.
we can kind of cut around this mountain. It kind of like then like points like from the map to like the mountain. If we cut around the south side of that, we can head into that valley and hopefully find something over there.
Mhm.
Could I suggest maybe that we take a little bit of a short rest, just in case we meet anything on our travels that needs to be dealt with today? Because
Have you been using your spell slots?
well, I've been a little bit punched up. I mean, I've taken nearly 100 damage.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I was at the front of a lot of that.
I took 10.
You got 10 hit points.
No, I took 10 damage.
Oh, you took 10 damage. Klari also took 10 damage, so I know where the fucking damage is coming to.
It was not me. I was doing the damage.
You were doing the damage. That was very impressive, Arwen. Master of nature.
Thank you.
So yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm just gonna chill here for an hour.
That's cool.
And Sprigham can regale us all with his daring tales of danger and do. Whilst I take a pretty quick short rest. And just use 19 hit dice. I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 10 hit dice. That's 10d10 plus stuff. So,
yeah. Does anyone want to do anything else while Stix is taking a short rest? Sorry.
Not really.
I'm also going to summon Elvis during this time, or after this time, whatever.
Yeah, that's
but so 10d10 plus 20. Please be good. 77. Right, that's good. What's 86 plus 77?
163.
Boom! Thank you. I am looking much better. And I summon an Elvis, which actually now means I don't have any more level 4 spell slots, but I have 2 level 5 spell slots, so that's fine. Because I think I used Ice Storm and Banishment? Did I use Banishment?
Yes, you
Yeah.
banished a hill giant to make the other ones think you'd killed it instantly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was on the same day. I forgot about that.
It's been on the same gosh darn day. Yes, Brigham, so I'm actually confirmed woodland spirit of these parts. Just wanting to know. Basically fucking cool. Right. We now have Elvis. I instruct Sprigham to get on Elvis so that he doesn't slow us down. And we're off. Because, as he said, his little legs can't carry him very far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, mechanically he's, well, I guess 15 feet slower than all of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, he now has methods of travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he can keep up with all of you, no problem.
And Elvis is also there to protect him. I tell Elvis, dude, watch this one. Watch him. Like a hawk.
Caw-caw.
All right. Well, as you make your way through the landscape, and Strickam is riding Elvis. You can all keep up. You all. Yeah, Stix is taking his time to tend his wounds. Was anyone doing anything else, or were you all just taking a short rest as well?
I mean, I'm all good.
Okay.
All good.
All right.
Clary's all good. Santos just nipped the loop.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So you cross round sort of the lower slopes of this mountain that you're on, kind of come over and where the path kind of winds its way up a little bit higher up the mountain. You turn off and begin making your way southwest. The sun has spun around in the sky and is just angled itself. Well, just the light is angled between
The sun span around?
Oh my god.
How would we even know? It's just a white ball to us.
There's one tiny little blob on it.
Sun showed us his ass.
Oh my.
Ah, the sun mooned us. Continue.
The sun moons you. As you make your way.
Sun moons you and you all take radiant damage.
Oh
As you
no.
make your way, curves and slowly dips in the sky, casting its light between two peaks to light up the valley that you're heading down in a beautiful golden sort of evening sunset before it dips below the peaks, casting you into an early twilight. You can see as you go along, Strickam is kind of continuing to make notes and things on his map, continuing to trace the pathways and make little adjustments to the mountains and things like that on there. But the sun sets and you all set up camp, however you are fond of doing, settle down, with your food, and can take a night's rest.
Love how we short rested.
That short rest is. I'm very glad I went through all that rolling. Nice. Well, at least I get Elvis. And you know what? I get Elvis, and then I get my spell slots back for having Elvis. So you know what? This isn't a bad thing.
Exactly. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Oh, jeez.
During the night, Arwen, Hugo nudges you awake at one point and kind of cocks his head and you strain your ears to listen, and a sound seems to faintly echo through the valley on the wind, and you hear it's an odd sound. You're not quite sure what it is. Hugo's never heard something like it before. He's trying to work out what it is, and he keeps sending you different pictures of different animals that he thinks it might be. You've got, it's like a bear, a jaguar, a wolf, but then it's like an eagle, a raven. As the sound sort of changes in pitch.
Do I know which direction it's coming from?
I mean, it seems rough, not like directly overhead, but high up, near one of the peaks.
Like north or south or?
It's a bit
Just
accurate. Make a perception check.
Ooh.
30. Yeah, this is, definitively southwest.
Okay. Have I ever heard anything like this before?
You don't think so?
Of all of the animals it could be, is there any that stand out most that it could be?
It's confusing because the sound almost seems to sort of change, like the cry, the call, the hoot, the holler, whatever it is from this creature seems to change as it undulates. It starts as one thing and makes you think of sort of ursine figures like bears and things like that, but then it seems to rise in pitch. It's like starts like a sort of a low growl and then rises in pitch towards the end, more like a shriek or a call.
Does it seem to be getting closer, or like just staying where it is?
It doesn't seem to be getting closer. It's very, very faint. It's only Hugo's sort of more perceptive hearing that seems to have picked it up and sort of maybe woke him up, this strange noise. And you don't get the sense that Hugo is concerned, you just get the sense that he's more confused and just trying to work out what this thing is.
Okay.
I mean, with a 30 perception check, you definitely think this creature is a long way off, but...
Does it sound like it would be in pain, or is it just its like natural call? Or
yeah, you think it's just its natural call.
Okay. Does it sound like it's trying to mimic something, or does it sound organic?
It sounds organic. It doesn't sound similar to anything you've heard before.
Okay.
Well, it reminds you of lots of things you've heard before, but like,
yeah,
the whole thing together is unusual.
Yeah. That's okay. That's fine.
This is very weird.
I might. Hold on. How far into the night is this?
Maybe like a few hours towards early morning.
Okay. Have I taken a long rest by now?
I mean, you're certainly close to, yeah.
Okay.
You can achieve a long rest if you don't do anything too strenuous.
Okay, I'm gonna like rest my eyes, but keep listening out for this sound, just to make sure it doesn't get any closer.
Yeah. Okay. Just make another perception check for me.
I don't fall asleep,
okay.
so.
Okay. After a little bit of time, you realize that you can just no longer hear it. Whether the creature has just fallen silent or moved away, you're not sure. But you can no longer hear it.
At that point, I'll probably just drift to sleep then. Eventually.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, you all wake up in the morning having achieved a nice long rest.
Amazing.
Good
I love a
morning,
long
y'all.
rest.
Let's heckin' get on the road.
I'll let everyone know the weird thing that me and Hugo heard.
Okay.
You just kind of look around like, well, we're not dead, so I'm going to assume there's something weird that ain't our problem right now.
Yeah, I know. Just, be on the lookout for something.
I will be on the lookout for something.
It was in a southwesterly direction.
in a southwesterly direction. I will be on the lookout
It's kind of the way we're going, but
for something. Yeah. All right. Cool. Shall we get going?
yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
You begin to make your way, carry on making your way through the mountains, begin your day, and it's a more chill day than maybe it has been previously. There's a bit more cloud cover, and so the sun's not as warm in the sky, and traveling a bit closer between more cramped peaks, they're more shaded by the sun from the sun's rays anyway, so you're traveling in shadow a little more. So a little bit warmer, but you're still down in the valley floors, as it were, with the grass and the trees. And yeah. So as you begin your day looking for giants once more, I'd like everyone to make their skill check for the day, please.
Yes.
Indeed. I am gonna roll a. Well, I don't know. Did you want to do survival? Or,
I can do survival.
Or do you want me to do survival? I don't mind whichever one of us does it, but I know that's a fairly big hit over both of us.
You're better at nature.
I am pretty good at nature, so actually I'll take nature if you take survival.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Nature. Just looking around in nature, seeing if there are any signs of disturbances in the nature and the natural world around us. See if I can pick up anything from that area, and also the nature of giants as well. Seeing their, knowing about giants, seeing if I can see any signs of them per se. 23.
Okay.
Good. 25.
25 survival from Arwen.
Did Klari use? Oh, I can't remember what it was. I think it's a spell to learn about where giants live. Did she do that last time? I can't remember.
No, last time I think she just used a spell to do to make me able to speak to giants.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you didn't do a spell to be able to learn about giants, did you?
No. I did an arcane check to follow the magic.
Yes. Yes, you did an arcana check to follow that magic. Do you want to try that again today? Do you want to do stuff?
Yeah.
We heard a strange thing in the night, but it ended up being nothing so far.
Yeah, should I just roll arcana?
Yeah. Roll whatever the heck you like. So I open my Tango Mango.
Nice.
So, the morning passes relatively noisily. Strigum is very chatty, plying you all with a lot of questions about the various things you've been up to in the brief time you were away, and also sort of questioning you generally about the life of an adventurer and the sort of adventures that you've been on previously. It's up to you how much or little you sort of engage with that.
I tell them about that time I got arrested for trying to steal a boat. Was I trying to steal a boat? I think I was.
I have to narrow it down. You've been arrested a lot.
There was a cat involved somehow. I remember that. Maybe I became a cat. That's
I
highly
don't-
possible.
I-
Yeah, no.
Don't
But
really
things-
remember that.
I remember Arwen having to become a cat to hide, so that she didn't
Yeah.
get arrested.
I don't remember this.
We were
Two
on
instances I'm thinking of.
the river.
Yeah. So I think the one on the river is when you stopped at a town and they were having their sort of like one of the inn owners hosted like a mock brawl.
Was that that time?
Oh, yeah.
And I bought a
Yeah.
knife to a fist
Yeah.
fight.
Arwen brought a knife to a fist.
Yeah, you immediately pulled your knife out, even though they explicitly said do not use weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Arwen got locked up. And then, yeah, maybe you turned into a cat to escape.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then the other
We were
time
definitely on a
is
river.
you were trying to, I think, recruit guards and things to fight. Uxin, the green dragon. You were trying to sort of like recruit guards and stuff in the city and people like that.
Oh, and then I hit their chair.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah, I
one of
remember
the
that
guards
one.
wasn't letting Arwen in, and he was sat on a chair, and Arwen kicked his chair out from underneath him, and then had to run away.
I remember that. That was fun. Good times.
Man. Good times. Good times all around.
Fond memories. I don't think I actually got arrested for that one. Oh no, maybe
No,
I
think
did.
you managed to escape that time.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Does anyone else tell stories of their adventures?
Or are
Yeah,
we just gonna?
Yeah,
let
probably
him-
just like a couple of the cool bits and bobs we've done. We've taken on dragons and demons and all sorts of stuff. Probably subtly, but not so subtly mentioned that my mentor was a god, so,
Name drop.
name drop. Or my mentor was the avatar of a god, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, just sort of,
Brag.
probably brag a little. Yeah. Not like too much. I don't think Stix is one to necessarily brag a lot. But
I think
certainly,
he is.
certainly when we're talking about it, I think Stix just like drops one of the big sort of stories that we've got, and then is just sort of quiet.
I imagine Arwen starts telling a story about something that happened, and it's just like, and Stix was terrible, but Klari and Arwen were great, and Stix was terrible, but Klari and Arwen were great, and his Stix is like,
Oh,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa. Whoa. Here's what actually happened. And I go through, and yes, my side of the story is a bit more epic than maybe what actually happened. Like
See,
maybe
told you.
maybe in a fight where I went down a bunch, I just don't mention that bit. And I don't mention, the I don't know,
All the healing I did.
yeah, or any missed attacks I did or whatever. And I sort of allude to the fact that I killed everything, but I never explicitly say I was the one who killed that thing. But I don't say anyone else did either. I just sort of assume that, me telling the story, they probably just assume I killed it. Yeah. And then I tell them my story of Lord Humpty.
Oh god,
Oh, nice.
a fan favourite.
Yeah,
fan
fan favorite. I tell them the tale of how that won the goddamn event in the thing, or I didn't win. Or maybe did
Oh,
I
yeah.
win? I certainly rolled well
Yeah, at the festival in Rosen's End.
in that festival in Rosen's End.
Yeah, but then there was a vampire.
Yeah, but then there was vampire, and that kind of that
Dampened
put
the whole
down the
evening.
mood.
My favorite story is still Get Help.
It's fine, just stab me. I've literally got magic hands that can heal myself. All to do a really minor thing.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
Like
Worth
we could have like that's one of the situations where if we had Klari, we wouldn't have needed any of that because she could have just snuck in and got the stuff we needed. But because I don't think you had stealth, but it would have just been you, and I wasn't very stealthy at that point, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just stab myself.
So good.
Oh no, I let you stab me.
I stabbed you. It was the best. It was very therapeutic.
Yeah, I can imagine. Every now and again, therapy, I just let Arwen stab me again.
Keeps you humble.
Yeah. Because now I've got that thing, like on our off days, when I know I'm not going to be doing any fighting, I've got that thing where if I drop to 0 hit points from about to die, I go to 1 hit point. So I just let Arwen stab me real quick to the point where I would nearly die, and then just before I die, I heal a little bit, and then I'm fine.
Just to get some adrenaline.
It's so painful, and Stix really, really hates it. But Arwen knows I won't die first time round, so sometimes she just sort of comes up and goes, sneak attack, shack!
Even though I can't sneak attack, but I just do it 3 times to get the same amount of damage.
Yeah. Unlike Klari, you actually shout sneak attack when you try and sneak attack me. It's very painful.
Of course. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
You have to announce what you're doing before you do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. The rules of D&D.
Every time it's a bow, it's just like arrows.
Dragon wing bow.
Yep, that's about right.
Yeah, I guess it is a little bit because obviously in Harry Potter, and I guess in D&D as well. Obviously, they have to say the word of the spell, and the spells are all named after obviously the word you have to say. So it's a little bit of a tell when someone's going Avada, to get the fuck out of the fucking way. Yeah, little bit of a tell. Unless you're,
Dumb.
Anyways, we're walking, we're traveling, we're telling stories, we're chilling the fuck out. We're having a great old time.
So, with your nature and survival checks, Arwen and Stix, you spot a not insignificant amount of large clawed tracks.
Large claw tracks.
Hugo, what were you doing last night?
He just sends you an image of you and him just curled up by a campfire.
Hello.
Sleepy.
Hell yeah.
And then there's also an image of his head, in a bag.
Was he eating our food?
Yeah.
I love that for him.
I literally have the powers to make more.
You go into your bag and you're like, my pocket bacon.
It's okay, it's Hugo. If it was Stix, it would be a different story.
How have I only just thought of this, right? So when I do create food and water, it specifically says in the spell's name it's flavorless. Why have I not just got a spice pouch? So
Because you're dumb.
Spices to it.
Big dum.
That's the first thing I'm getting as soon as we're back in civilization.
Spices. Herbs.
Herbs in it.
Not garlic.
Well, Regis isn't with us all the time.
Yeah, it's fine. If anything, actually, out in the wild, that would probably be quite helpful.
I don't think garlic did anything. I think you said that garlic was a myth.
Oh.
I think.
That's a shrimp.
Maybe I made that up. But yes, we walk.
Sorry, with your Arcana check, you notice that some of the peaks in the distance disappear off. They're surrounded by low cloud that seems denser and doesn't seem to obey the natural sort of ebb and flow of the cloud, the main sort of blanket of clouds above you. These peaks the cloud seems to cling to them in a slightly unnatural way. And carry on through the morning. Until you may be thinking about, stopping for a break during the day, stopping for lunch or something like that. And alert to the dangers around you, you spot sort of a large, maybe sort of light grey form detach itself from one of the peaks and soar across the valley to the other side, where it alights on a cliff at the top and disappears out of sight. And then maybe 3-4 minutes later, you watch, and you can watch maybe another figure. This one, more humanoid in shape, seems to drift just through the air. They seem to be quite large in nature. And as they drift, they kind of drift past the peak where you saw this grey form disappear, and they begin to slowly descend in your direction. And as they do, you can make out that they are, in fact, a humanoid shape. But you realise that the scale of the mountains and the scale of them is sort of throwing off your perception, and they're much further away as this figure slowly descends down the mountains towards you. You start to make out little details: the pale blue skin, the white wispy hair.
Is it a dragon? Well,
No, it's a cloud giant, right?
Oh.
I would assume.
It looks more like a giant, like a dragonborn. They have sort of humanoid arrangement of limbs, and they can descend. You can see they've got bare arms covered in sort of swirling patterns.
Bare arms.
And they slowly, kind of sort of serenely. It almost looks like they're standing still as they just, with no effort at all, just glide through the air, making their way down as they descend.
Do we, knowing that, do we think the other one was a giant as well?
That did not look like a giant, no. That looked more bestial in its nature.
Do we know if these these giants can speak common?
You don't know.
Stix, you're up. Flirt with him.
Hello, Master Giant. Hello.
Yeah, you fall out to this giant, and he doesn't seem to course correct at all. He seems as if they were intent on making their way in your direction anyway, and they just, from this distance, you can maybe make out a slight smile spread across their face as they continue to descend serenely in your direction. You notice now that they are sort of stood on thin air, very tall and upright, arms sort of clasped, relaxed behind their back as they drift down towards you.
He's gonna eat us.
Little eddies of cloud seem to sort of wisp off their hair and off their skin as they descend in your direction.
Mhm.
But if you're trying to attract their attention, you're not trying to hide or anything like that, they will just continue to descend
No.
until
I assume they've already seen us.
Yeah, I assume they've seen. I mean, I'm literally going to them like, "Hey, hi."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they descend until they reach the ground and hover maybe 3-4 inches off the ground, standing there very well dressed. As I said before, they've got like a not like quite like a not like a collared, like a traditional sort of fold over collared shirt, but like a sort of like a waistcoat type thing. So there's no arms on it. Done up with a high neck though, and sort of
He looked
like
like a
a
genie.
A little bit, yeah. So sort of like a high neck with a little bit of like a collar that goes like up and around the neck and things like that. Very well dressed. It looks to be like silk or something like that. Very fine.
It's
Well sort of embroidered and things like that. You can see now that there are what look like tattoos sort of down both arms, and this darker blue compared to the pale blue of their skin. Again, almost sort of like quite baggy, but almost formal, like trousers and things. And he just kind of alights on the ground, or hovers just off the ground in front of you. And in common, says, "Travelers are uncommon in these parts. Welcome to our lands."
he.
Hello.
What might your names be?
Well, my name is Stix. Like, we'll introduce each other, I'm assuming. I'm Stix. Oh, Klari. Here you go. I nearly said Scrotum, and now I can't remember his name. Sprigham.
Yeah.
Strigan.
Jesus Christ.
And we're the Fellowship of Aegis. We are
+1.
here. What is your name, kind sir?
I myself am Norfie.
Norfie.
Yes.
Okay.
That's cool.
I don't suppose any of you have seen an owlbear around here by any chance?
An owlbear.
Can I mimic the noise that I made, that I heard earlier?
Yeah.
Is that what noise it makes?
Indeed, you are familiar with the creature.
It was in that direction, and I pointed in the direction that it was. I didn't see it, I only heard it.
Well, I'm sure she's around here somewhere. We were out for a little walk, and she has wandered off again.
Is she a mama owlbear, or a teenage owlbear, or a baby owlbear?
Oh, she's quite young, only a couple of years old.
A baby.
Is she your owlbear, or just an owlbear you're looking for?
Oh, I look after her from time to time. I would not claim ownership, but we have companionship. I call her Nimbostratus.
Aww.
Her grey colouring matches those wonderful clouds.
Aww. I'm gonna cry.
So I was hoping you would. I don't know if you could help us with something. We could maybe help you with this owlbear situation, but we have a situation of our own. We have an issue where we are trying to find a very fancy forge. We need to create a weapon of immense power. I don't know if you know much of what's going on outside of the mountains and outside of anywhere, but there is a big, dark, terrifying individual named Balsam who is looking to, we think, take over the world. Whether he means to, or whether he knows it or not, something is trying to take over the world. Either way, he is trying to do some very, very bad stuff. He is trying to gather an army to go do something, and he has armies at the minute running around Kavran, a big undead army running around, killing everything and everyone. And it's very big and problematic. And in order to defeat him, we need to forge a sword in a big fancy forge. We heard some giants living near a forge. Would you be those giants living near a forge?
A passive look crosses his face. Why don't we sit and have a chat? Do you have provisions?
I think so. I'm good for now and a hearty brekkie. Yeah. Yeah, let's have a chat.
Well, I myself would not be opposed to a little rest, and we can get to know each other a little better. And he kind of waves his hand across the ground, and a sort of a large table and like set of chairs appears. All big spread of food. And he goes, yes, that probably won't do actually. And he kind of waves his hand again, and everything shrinks down to a manageable size, except for one chair. And he kind of sits himself down upon it, reaches down and picks up like a little plate of like little pies and things like that he's conjured, and just kind of like takes the plate in one hand, sort of like takes a pie which is like really small in his hand, and just eats it all in one, and then just starts like offering you all food. Pie, pasty, there's fruit, and starts acting those. Says, well, you want to know about a forge? I don't know of any incredible forges in here. We're not much of well, we're not much for smiths. We obviously can make things. We giants do have numerous skills in magic and other crafts, but something of legendary quality that you're alluding to is. Are you looking for us to craft this for you? I think you may be disappointed.
Can I insight this guy? Fuck my words today. Can I insight what he's saying about the forge? How he's not got a forge near him. I'll sort of like as he's saying this, I'll kind of look around at the table, hoping that everyone else sort of joins me on this because I'm not the best at insight. But let's hope and pray. Oh, 19. Never mind. I'm fucking good at this.
Arwen's eating a pasty.
Yeah, I mean, he feels very genuine from. Well, he's welcoming, he's polite, you don't feel like he's being deceptive.
Okay. So at the very least, he doesn't know about a forge. He goes, okay. That's a shame. Do you know? Well, no. We heard that there was a group of. Remind me again. It was a group of giants were either defending this forge or just living near this forge.
The legend, or the fragment of legend, went that there were giants in proximity to the forge.
in proximity to the forge, not necessarily defending it or anything like that, just
No.
in proximity. Right, okay. Okay.
Yeah, one of the things, that's like, well, if you go looking for giants, you're gonna find trouble. So anyone looking for the forge was also, it made it very dangerous to do so.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just say, okay. No, we weren't really expecting you to craft anything for us. We just heard a legend that some giants were in proximity to or nearby a forge, and we really need one to be able to craft an item ourselves. So yeah, that's problematic. Could you tell us about your people? What are you guys? How long have you guys been in these mountains? How many are you?
Oh, well, we've been here for generations, really. We pass the time, as it were, with our various studies and things like that. But please, I mean, what do you know of giants in general?
I know a fair bit about giants based on one check I made a little while. I know a fair bit. I know there are different kinds. I know there's some form of order to you giants. There's some kind of like, I don't know, yeah, giant sort of hierarchy, I suppose, or so I heard. Correct me if I'm wrong in that, but based
No,
on
you are indeed correct. There are different types of giants, and we each have a natural place in the order, although some accept that more readily than others. I myself am content with the life that I lead. I study my magics and generally peaceful. We observe our portion of the world. Not all are quite so happy. Some wish to rise above, and, well, everyone's place in society is dictated, as it were, through. Combat is a crude word for it, and does not truly cover the wide-branching nature. The giants of my clan, they put great store in strength, as most giants do. But unlike your stone giants or your hill giants, we have evolved to think of strength to cover many disciplines: strength of mind, strength of will, intelligence, and things. Not only the strength of one's arm, but
or legs if you're very kicky.
indeed. We hold scant few relics that may have come from this forge with which you speak many hundreds of years ago. They may be clues as to what you are searching for. If you are inclined to pursue this course, I will happily bring you with me, and I will happily take you, and you can speak to my chiefs, Thiazi. They will be able to give you more information.
That would be very very kind of you. Yes, we'd all like that very much. Yeah.
Yes, I must warn you, however, you will need to prove yourself to Thiazi. I would not advise to challenge them directly. gauntlet they carry gives them a great amount of power, and I'm sure you are proficient adventurers, having survived in these mountains with the wolves and what for, but I think you will find them to be beyond you. But if anyone does cause you trouble, do not take it as a personal slight. Just be aware that the challenge of others is very common. And if you wish to assert yourselves over someone, then any and all are free to challenge others in a contest of their own choosing, the nature of which will determine the respect of others. There was once a giant who excelled at a game called Tiddlywinks.
Ooh. I love a bit of that.
His skill was prodigious, and none could beat him. However, it was not what you might call an applicable skill. So while he challenged many and achieved many victories, it was
Very impressive.
those are not the words that others would have used. I say this just to try to convey the nature of our society. It is built on challenge. If you wish a discount from a merchant, maybe you could challenge them to a game of riddles, proving yourself to be more intelligent and therefore earning a boon that way. So forth. If that is the nature and the commonality of challenge. There are more formal challenges in the hierarchy, but hopefully you will not be forced into any such thing as that.
Here's hoping.
Klari, challenge someone to a reading contest.
I don't even know how that would work.
Who can read the most pages?
Challenge them to a spelling bee.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have to actually act it.
Oh! Challenge them to a game of hide and seek. I bet you'd be really good at that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Good one.
There's a plan. Oh, prepare to get stuck, guys.
Well, and what about you, Master Gnome? You've been oddly quiet. You haven't touched your strawberries. It's strange how it just kind of like picks up a strawberry and just like, I'm sorry. It's like, oh, calm down, sir. You are perfectly safe here.
Oh,
If anyone
poor little
challenges you,
stubble.
you need not accept it. You will just have to accept that they will then also figuratively as well as literally look down on you. You are so small, my friend, though I'm sure you will barely escape notice. We will just have to watch and make sure we do not step on you, I suppose.
Notice.
Notice.
I'm so funny.
Well, if everyone is done here, then I will gladly take you as my guest. You will be welcome to stay in my house when we reach the city, if you would like. Or you can, of course, it is rare, but we do have an inn. Occasionally, giants from other clans do stop by to our cloudy halls. You would be welcome to pay for board and lodging there if you have the gold.
No, I'm very poor.
Very, very poor.
So poor.
Just so poor.
Not a copper to my name. Just multiple
He
gold.
looks over you with your fancy magical armor and magical weapons and says, yes, not a penny to your name, I'm sure.
Yeah, we used all our money to buy this stuff.
I look cool though, don't I?
A very heroic adventurer you make.
Woohoo!
He says, shall we? And he kind of stands up and clicks his fingers and his chair disappears. And just kind of waits for you all to be like,
That we shall.
Yes,
very
we
well.
shall.
He clicks his fingers again, and the rest of the little bits of remaining food disappear. Struggling, having just got over it, because kind of like picked up a pasty, and it's like and then like it just disappears, and he just
Oh,
Oh, poor guy.
that's really sad.
the little table and chairs disappear. He says, "Well, if you are unfamiliar with flying, this may be an odd sensation, but do try to relax and just focus on where you want to go. You need not swing your arms or kick your legs like a flailing bird." And he waves his hand over all of you and says some arcane words, and you all feel yourselves sort of physically lighten and almost like automatically lift off a few inches into the air as he casts fly on all of you.
Now, a question. Does he cast fly on Elvis, who literally has wings? Because that would be really funny.
No, he doesn't cast fly on Elvis.
Just there, like, not even flapping his wings, just like,
So confused, the poor boy.
he would not cast fly on Elvis.
Shame.
And but you all begin to float off into the air. He kind of leans forwards and heads out in front of you and begins to lead you off into the sky. And unfortunately, we're going to call it there because Abby has sent me a message to say she's not feeling so great. And so we're going to it's a little bit shorter to give her an
That's perfectly okay. I hope you feel better soon.
Hi.